Hey friends, welcome on back to the Dave Yourself channel. My name is Dave and this is my channel. Well, you noticed that I've got the red apron on today, but we're not going to be doing any building today, but we are going to be talking shop. Specifically, we're going to be talking equipment. More specifically, we're going to be talking cameras. More specifically than that, well, you already saw the title card. You see what's in front of me. We're going to be talking about why I think that this particular camera is my #1 go-to camera for anything in the RC hobby. And yes, I did mean that pun intentionally, because when I'm saying my go-to camera is the Insta360 GO camera, I mean it. And in this particular video, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. I've got one here that I've had for over a year. We're going to talk about all the things I like about it, things I don't like about it, and how it's holding up after David yourself abuse after a year. And then if you've been on the fence about getting a go-to, or you're interested to see, hey, what happens if I did buy one? Well, I do happen to have a brand spanking new one right here in the box, so we're going to go ahead and unbox that, show you all the goodies that come into it. We're going to talk some of the specs, and then we're going to show you some video clips later on of this camera in use. And I'm going to have a video clip in there of the Go 1 versus Go 2 video in use later on in this video, so make sure you stick around to that if you want to see that. And also, I do have one more accessory, which is the invisible selfie stick, and I'm going to show you I can even use something like this on something as small as this. So if you want to see exactly all about the Insta360 Go 2 that you may not have seen on other channels, or if you just want to see what my impression is, or if you want to see how the hell equipment like this has lasted a year in my hands, well, you know what I recommend you do? Stick around. All right, friends, thanks for coming on back. I'm glad to see that you're interested to see exactly what I've got going on here. So let's go ahead and just talk about the Insta360 Go 2 itself, and the one that I've had for about a year now. I'm going to break out the old man spec so I can look serious while I'm talking about this, and I'll set these aside for the moment. But like I said, I've had this particular camera for over a year now. I originally purchased the Insta360 Go 1. When it first came out, I had already been an Insta360 fan because I had already had the Insta360 One X, and I really enjoyed that 360 camera. It was a fairly large camera. I don't have it here in front of me, but you've seen those, and I'll put a picture of it here, maybe up on the screen or whatnot. But nonetheless, particular camera, black camera, cool camera, very, very cool. Lens on both sides, so you get the 360. It does a really great job. One of the neat things about the Insta360 Go or the Insta360 One X, or pretty much any of the Insta360 products, is the proprietary flow state stabilization software. And I'm sure you've seen some demonstrations of that, but it's basically where you can utilize the camera to either lock the horizon. So if your camera's in a plane, it'll lock the horizon, but you'll watch the plane fly around the screen. Or you can do it in more of an FPV view, which they call it, where the plane and the camera move and the horizon moves slightly, but it doesn't. It gives it a nice flow to it, hence the name flow state stabilization. But that's a really, really neat feature, so I really enjoyed that and kind of got hooked on that right off the get-go with the first Insta360 One X. Now, the Insta360 One X was really cool. Just like with the other products, you can use a phone app to link them to your phone and be able to take a look at, see what you're looking at, the whole deal, and edit things and stuff right on the phone app, the Insta360 app, which is really, really neat. Mostly what I use it for is just to make sure that the camera's pointing in the right direction. These particular cameras, the Insta360 Go 1 was the 16-gram camera. No, I'm sorry, 20-gram camera, and this one is a 26-gram camera. And if you take the little protective lens off the front here, I think it may go to 25 maybe, just because that's a nice glass lens in the front. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But this particular product, I love it a lot. One of the things with the Insta360 Go, the Insta360 One X, is that it did not come with its own remote. And the remote / GPS unit was a separate unit that you had to buy. It was another $40. It was pretty cool, and I have used it. As a matter of fact, I've used it in some of my P39 videos, where you can put the data up on the screen just like you can with some of the GoPros and things of that nature. But I've always been a big fan of the non-larger names, and Insta360 Go has now become a larger name, but originally when they were smaller, I really enjoyed some of that. Just like instead of DJI drones, I like to fly Unique drones, YUNEEC, that brand. So anyway, nonetheless, that's not what this particular video is about. This particular video is about this particular camera. So let's go over some of the basic features just of the one that I have used itself. So you may have noticed originally that it was standing up, because the neat thing about this is it does have its own little stand legs on the back, okay, so that you can stand it up. From there, you can also, of course, stand it up and tilt the camera in any direction. Take selfies of yourself or your friend from a distance. You don't need any additional stand. It comes with one right inside. So that's pretty cool. The camera itself does come out. It does have the magnetic base on the back, and then there's a magnetic base inside here as well. This is the charging pod, so this is how this would work. Let's see if I have something metal. I certainly do. So it basically just sticks on anything metal, and it has a really good tight fit on it there. Certainly not coming off. And then, so you've got that, and then, of course, now this also doubles as the remote, and this is really where I jumped from using the Insta360 GO 1 to jumping immediately into the GO 2 because of this particular feature, because what I was using these cameras for, since they're already so small, is putting them inside cockpits. You can put them in 64 millimeter cockpits and larger kind of things. So I haven't put it in a 50 millimeter cockpit, so most of those cockpits aren't clear anyway, but any cockpit that was clear, even with the Habu, that's kind of the dark smoke cockpit on it, I take the cockpit off, stick this bad boy in there, and take video. Now, the bonus over this particular camera over the GO 1 is that the GO 1 would only record up to 5 minutes after their software upgrade, because it was originally only made for 60-second clips, but it was eventually upgraded to be able to do full 5 minutes. So that made it ideal for jets, planes that flew on 3 to 4 minute battery life kind of thing. Perfect. You can get the started, get the canopy on, get it up, fly it for 3 minutes, land it. The camera would normally shut off shortly back from your taxi back to you. So it usually worked out pretty great. However, it did not have a remote, so you had to start the camera or have the bottom receding outside of the interior of the canopy so that you can push the button before you put the canopy. It was a little bit more of a headache. Here, with this particular camera now, this comes with its own remote, so you can put it in there, take the canopy shut, put it underneath the car, put it underneath the plane. You don't have to worry about fiddling with it. You just have to link it up to here, start your recording, start whatever recording mode you want. And it does have the HDR mode. It does have time lapse. It does have slow-mo. It does have dang it. We'll talk about some of the features there in a minute of the box. I'm trying to recall them off the top of my head after a long day of work. But anyway, so nonetheless, this particular camera has really been really great. Now, I did mention it does have this little lens on it, which is another thing the Insta360 GO 1 did not have. It has this nice little ND filter lens on the front. And then, of course, it has the slightly recessed lens underneath the screw housing around that. The Insta360 GO did not have this screw housing around it, so anytime the camera would fall off and land on the concrete, it would immediately take abuse to the screen itself or the actual lens. Here, now you have this ND filter, which you can replace, and it does tend to protect it pretty well. It does have a little bit of a tint to it, not a whole heck of a lot more, just kind of a high def to kind of bring out some of those colors. The only thing is you want to make sure that your fingerprints are not on it. It is a fingerprint magnet, and fingerprints will dull the photo just a little bit there. But so that's how you want to work with that. And I'm sure I'll need to probably need to wipe the inside of that off too. Probably wouldn't hurt. You may notice on mine as well that in here on the box, and I've talked about this before in some of my other videos, but mine has the Dave It Yourself logo on it here. So that just is a self-adhesive kind of thing. The camera normally just comes white, the logo on the front and the microphone here. But since I have these, they just self-adhere on there. And then they lock on with this. If you order the camera itself from the Insta360 GO website, I do believe that you can order these. It comes with 2 in a pack. You custom print your own. Just put upload whatever you want on there. And then from there, I think 2 in a pack, I think they're $20. And then from there, you can have one for your camera, one replacement for later. So that's really works out really well with that. Now, I was mentioning about the selfie stick here and how to use the selfie stick on something so small. So let me show you that. Because it is cool to be able to have the little tripod here in the back. You know, you got you hanging out with your friends or whatever. You want to get to sit back some, angle it up, sit back over here, get your picture with friends or whatever like that. Or you can kind of do kind of this kind of thing Or the cool thing about the Insta360 GO 2, which the Insta360 GO 1 did not have, that's right, it's got a little screw mount right in the bottom, perfect for the invisible selfie stick. Screws right into the bottom there. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you can do this. And of course, since it's an Insta360 GO product, it has this technology where this stick will disappear. So you're going to see your camera view, you're going to see your hand like this, holding nothing. But that's why they call it the invisible selfie stick. So you can hold it out and get yourself some good video with just the Insta360 GO 2 on this little invisible selfie stick, which works out really, really well. All right, so that's some of the things I like. Now, some of the stuff I do not like about this particular camera. It does have some really great filming modes, like I did mention. It'll record anywhere from 1 minute to 3 minutes to 5. Maybe it goes 1 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 30, I think, the time interval so you can record. Just like the Insta360 GO 1, however, and pretty much any 360 camera that I've ever noticed, these things tend to get pretty warm. Okay, so after about 15 minutes of recording, if you have this thing inside of a plane cockpit or say inside of a car body or not in direct airflow for a decent period of time, it'll get pretty warm, and then it'll eventually at the 15-minute mark, even if you have it set for 30, it'll stop. Okay, and then it'll need to cool down and recharge a little bit. And it takes quite a bit to cool it down because this thing is pretty hot. It will record up to 30 minutes. However, I haven't been able to necessarily do that just because we don't get enough snow here in Georgia. But if I were to do some flying in some very cold temperatures, it would probably do the full 30 minutes. However, I don't have a battery on a plane that will last 30 minutes, so it's kind of a moot point anyway. But if you were doing it, say, on a crawler or a car, this is absolutely perfect. It comes with some really great mounts for that kind of stuff that are also magnetic. And it's, since I said it's waterproof, you can do some crawling with a rock crawler in a nice deep river and have no problems getting some good film with that. As a matter of fact, I have one on my Gen 8 where I shoved it in the front grill and did some crawling in a little creek near my house here. Had no idea where there was fish in that creek until the camera saw them under the water. So I'll go ahead and put that particular video up here as well in case you want to see that. But anyway, so I've had a lot of fun with these particular cameras, and that's kind of things like that. Now, things I do not like about it, the heat shut-off thing, it's not my favorite. I wish there will be a technology that comes along soon enough where heat sinks will be more prevalent and do a better job, but it's not a huge gripe. I've never taken it out of a plane, a car, or something like that, and then hot potato in it, or anything like that. It's never been like that. Like I said, it'll automatically shut off if it starts to get too warm for itself, so it won't damage anything, and it will keep all of your footage. I've never had it not record my footage. Speaking of the footage, depending on how you're recording the footage, I think mine right now is right. I'm not sure if I'm using HDR mode or not, but I think I am, because when you download the footage, you just use a USB-C cable, which does come in the box. We'll go over that here in a second, and just plug it right into your laptop or whatnot. You will need to download the Insta360 software. It's a free software that you just download from the Insta360 website. You can trust it. I haven't had any problems. Make sure you update it frequently because they do a lot of updates to it, which is perfect. But when you do that, you get 2 file tapes. Say you record one video. When you download it, you'll see that you get 2 in there. One will say VID for video, and one will say LRV. The LRV is a low resolution video. The other one is the high 1440 or whatever, 2K, whatever you may have. It's not a 4K camera, but 2K, you may have it set on that. And if that's the case, then you'll have a really large vid video and one of LRV. The vid may be 6 gigs. The LRV might be 2.38 megabytes. So for YouTube purposes, I think I've uploaded one of the high def vids once. It didn't make any damn difference. The LRV looks just as great. YouTube does 1080p as normal as it usually is, and then if you have a 4K specific upload, that's all 4K, not 4K bits. The whole video has to be 4K for that to work. But nonetheless, this one, you can't tell the difference, and you get some really, really, really great shots because the camera being so small. Again, you can mount it on the landing gear, for goodness sakes. You can mount it on the rudder. You can mount it on the tail. You can put it on all kinds of stuff. And speaking of mounts, let's go ahead and get into this box a little bit more. We've already looked at the invisible selfie stick and how great that is. And let me go and throw that back in the package since I'm not using it right now. And I'll give you a little bit of a close-up here, too. I know you're going to miss my face, but come on in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to give you some look here to see exactly how well my camera's held up. Okay, so my camera's actually held up pretty good. It's not too bad. I have no major cracks in it. I do have a little scratch and stuff. This is a pretty smooth case, so if you're holding on to it, you could it does pop out of your hand pretty easy if you're not careful. That's about the size of an iPod, AirPods, or whatever case. So it's about that same size if you're familiar with that. All the settings are really pretty easy. It's just a 2-button control system here, and then it's got a nice little screen here, and it talks you through everything. And then, of course, like I said, it does have the phone app, so you can also coordinate all of that through the phone app as well. So that is a pretty cool little feature. I do love this little camera. All right, so there's that one. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if you happen to buy one of these and what you actually get out of the box. Here is the box itself. Nice illustration that they have going on there. Of course, here they're going to give you some of those action shots that you're going to see on pretty much any action camera box. Even the super cheap ones probably have these exact same photos on them. On the back, you're going to get some of your Chinese specs and things of that nature. And then, of course, on this other side here, you're going to get a little bit more of the detail specs, which is kind of probably hard to see for you there, but I'll go ahead and read those out. So some of the detail specs here is we have the flow state stabilization. Let me go ahead and break out my light here too. So we got the flow state stabilization here. It's hands-free, of course, because you've got the remote. It mounts anywhere because it's magnetic. You can do up to 1440 at 50 frames per second. It is waterproof. It does not say how much, but I think it's 3 meters or 10 feet. Auto editing, so you do have some auto editing software in the phone. You have hyperlapse, that's the one I was thinking about earlier. Slow motion, remote control, of course, like I showed you, and then the Wi-Fi preview through your phone. So those are some of the big deals that they talked about here as far as the specs. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the box itself. It's a nice thick cardboard box. Oh, look at that presentation. Look at that. Very nice. And of course, do they have it carved out in the wood here? No. Or the cardboard? No. This is magnetic. There you go. So that's what's so great about that. So you'll get it like that. Comes in the box just like that. New lens, of course, got the little lens cover here. On the back of the magnet, it even has you'll need to remove that before you try to charge it. Looks like my little screen thing fell off already. Stick it back on there. All right, let's go ahead and get inside the box a little bit here. It does say think big here. Think big, even though it's tiny, because they want you to do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So getting into the box here, opening this up, of course, you're going to have what is the magnetic mount here. So, hey, let's get into that magnetic mount. I'm going to take the camera off here, set it off to the side. Take a look at this magnetic mount here, and you will see that this is actually a necklace. So you wear this around your neck, put it underneath your shirt, stick your camera right to your shirt. There you go. So that's one neat little feature. You can walk around through the mall or walk around through crowds with this thing just sticking on your shirt, and nobody be none the wiser that you're recording. So there's that. So that's how that sticks there. And then we got your nice little setup inside here with all your other goodies. So we've got, of course, the USB-C cable that we talked about. And then we have this really cool sideways mount, which is perfect for, say, putting it on like a ball cap or something like that. So it's got a little slit right here. So you can do something like this. See if I can slide on my hat without looking. It's kind of close to my eyeballs there. It's got a nice firm grip on. There it goes. All right. So you can go ahead and put it something like that, rotate it, slap the old camera in there. Whoops. Try that again. There we go. Slap the old camera in there. All right. And then you can aim it however you need it. And then, of course, if you're looking on your app, making sure that, let me just take this piece of paper out. Blast out. I see it's falling off. Anyway, so then you can take that out of there. Looks like it's trying to record. Trying to link up right now. Go ahead and turn that off. All right. So there we go. So you got this cool little hat clip, which works really well. As long as you put it in the right way, apparently. There you go. All right, so cool hat clip. The hat clip itself also has a nice little rubber stop here. So say you were using it on, say, the hood of your car or something like that. You could angle the camera back to kind of distribute the weight, and it'll kind of sit on a little bit of an angle without necessarily sliding off. Now, I'm not saying it won't roll off, but it won't slide off. But anyway, so that's the cool little clip there you have for that. This particular clip, like I said, it is pretty tight. But if you slid like a popsicle stick in there, a big tongue depressor popsicle stick, that would make a great wing extension to glue on and have a camera outside the wing. A little tip there for you. And then getting, of course, into the actual unit itself, the charge unit, just like the one that I already showed you, exact same. Has a little decal on it, and of course the same little everything there. All right. And then the last little item that comes in this particular one, which is probably my favorite item, other than the little shirt necklace thing here, is this particular item right here. And this is the one that I use pretty much 100% of the time on most of my planes and things of that nature. It's a great little swivel control item. You can basically set it anywhere. The cool part about it is that it slides out. And here is that super, it's got the little protective shield on it. But this is that super sticky, rubbery type material that you can just wash off if it gets dirty and then it gets sticky again, kind of thing. So that is what you have in there. And then to protect it in between when you're not using it, to keep it clean, you just put the little clip back on there. It's got a nice little hand lanyard on it so you can hold on to it where you're taking stuff. Maybe you're on a roller coaster, you know. So that's how that works. And this is the one that I use pretty much 99% of the time. The one for my particular camera, this little black pad, I have removed it because I normally just hot glue and paper tape these things onto my planes because I don't want them to fall off. And after you do that a few times, the paper tape just continues to hold onto the sticky thing since it's so sticky under there. Here with this one, I'll probably just keep the protective cover on and never really stick it on anything. But once you pull this protective cover off, you can stick it to the side of your car, clean window, stick it on anything clean and smooth, and it will stay there the entire time. So it's a really neat little tool. So that's pretty much what you get in the basic kit. I call it the basic kit, although you do get some really great things in here that you don't get anywhere else, such as something like this. Of course, you're not going to see something like this in any other micro camera type setup where you use this little necklace behind your shirt thing. And then, of course, the remote control and charger cam. And then already coming with something like that where it's got the straight hat cam clip already ready to go for yourself. And then being able to have this stabilization so you don't have to worry about your head bobbling around so much, things of that nature. It'll stabilize all that automatically. You don't have to press any buttons to make that happen. It just does it. Or if you're going to use the selfie stick or whatnot. So it's pretty great stuff there. But so you do inside here as well, you do have a little cheat sheet card about standalone use. And then you do have a little cheat sheet card about the magnet pendant use and how you're supposed to use that. So it does come with some neat little information in there. And then, of course, even further in, you have the full Insta360 GO 2 guide, as you would expect. And it's going to be in just about every language. So English, I think, is I think it's near the front, and it's like 2 pages out of the 75 here. So there you go. All the languages are in there. And I think that's all that comes in there. Nope, I'm sorry. Of course, you always got to get the bonus of the Insta360 GO decals from Insta360 GO. They would love for you to put these decals right below the camera so that you can advertise for them when you use the camera. There's a nice clear white one there and then the yellow one that you see. But anyway, so those are the nice little bonus pickups there as well. So that's pretty much what you get inside of a brand new box of an Insta360 GO 2. And like I said, I think now that I have the second one, I don't have to worry so much about getting this stuff in here for one. I don't have to worry so much about, is that not going there specifically? Maybe that doesn't go in there specifically. Maybe I'm just trying to make something work. It doesn't work. Excuse me. All right, so now that I have the 2 of these, I think I'll be able to not have to limit myself so much. I've been utilizing the Insta360 GO 1 when I can, but I know that video cuts out after 5 minutes when this one's still rolling on for another 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what I have it set on. So now that I have 2 of these and 2 of these stands, I'll probably be able to do some good counter weight wing distribution, get some good video, maybe one aimed back toward the tail from one wing and then the other one aimed up toward the nose from the other wing so they don't really see each other but still see almost the whole plane. I think that'll probably be one of my first try to videos that I'll try to do with both of these on there. Probably on something like the Consendo or even maybe the Apprentice SS, something like that might get some good flying in. I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to stick around to the rest of this video and see exactly how that works out. But for now, I think we've talked about this thing about as much as I need to talk about. If you want more details, you can kind of see the difference between a brand new one right here and mine. This is a little shinier, a little brighter white. This one's got a little bit more sweat, blood, and tears on it than this one does yet. But they still seem to be, pretty decent shape, both of them there. So I'm glad to see about that. So if you've enjoyed this part of the video, well, please stick around to the rest of the video because, like I said, we got some video clips coming in now. I'm going to show you some of this Insta360 GO 2 usage. See what you think about that in case you're still on the fence about getting one. But for now, I am Dave. These are the Insta360 GO 2 cameras. Can't wait to be putting out some more videos with these coming up here soon. And I hope you like the rest of the videos coming up in this particular video. And until next time, I am Dave. That's Insta360. We're out of here. Enjoy those videos. Nice. Oh yeah, back at Cherokee Bluffs Park. Nice. All right, friends, I'm going to be throwing the Ovonic Air 2200 3S LiPo up in there. That's the one I'll be running in here. Got both the cameras loaded up, or all three of the cameras loaded up. So let's get this thing in the air. All right, friends, here we are. Here's the part of the video you were waiting for. I have both of the Insta360 GO 2s on the wings, and I have the Insta360 GO 1 right here in the tail. So we're going to go ahead and get video footage from all three of those. And stick around. We're over here at Cherokee Bluffs Park. We got a little bit of a breeze coming in. Here's the current temperature information here. And now that you've seen that, you see what I'm dealing with. And I'm going to go ahead and throw up the special gray canopy Consendo Evolution up. Wind's coming from this direction, so I'm going to shoot it up in that direction and then see what we can do about getting some decent aerials. So stick around for that because it's coming up next. Nice. All right. So we get a chuck right here and see what we got. Here we go. And away we go. All right, let him get on up there. Not much of a wind we're dealing with right now. Come back off that throttle. So he's hitting a little bit of an air pocket there, it looks like. Got some people over here having a party. Hopefully you don't hear them too much, but right. Got a little inverted action there. Back this way. Put that safe back on, just make it a little easier on me. Throttle back. All right. Nice and warm out here, no wind. Doing good. Do a little low flyby here while we got the GO 1 on there. Got a 5-minute timer on it, so. That way. Have it come in nice and low on this hill in front of me. There we go. Nice and low. Oh yeah. Through the trees. All right. Gas them up a little bit. Hopefully you can't hear that music too much in the background. Hopefully you hear my voice more than anything else. I won't have to worry about getting copywritten. Let's go ahead and remove some of that right trim I put on there earlier. Getting back on up there a bit. And ride the inverted out and roll them over. There we go.
Put the safe back on there. Get another flyby here. Cut that rudder a bit, there we go. Ninja style. Tailwind coming in on him now. Bring him on back around here. See if we can do a little bit of a floaty float right in front of us here since we got some wind. Alright, so a little too fast there. See if I can slow him down a bit here. Kind of coming from my face here, so let's see if we can slow him down there. Slow him down any more. Ah, it just drops once I kill the throttle. Alright. Bring him back around with a little throttle there. Alright, so let's get one dive through those trees. I don't know if my timer's on here, but let's go ahead and land him in front of me here so we can get that landing on the Insta360 GO 1. Whoop, I'll take that. I will take that. Nice. All right, friends, there you go. There's all three cameras there. As you notice, the other one didn't move because I have some hot glue globs from earlier when it fell over, so it ain't going nowhere now. And I probably need to do some of those with this here, but I think it's just doing the movement after it lands. So anyway, there you go. That's what I promised at the beginning of the video. 3 Insta360 GOs on one plane, 2 GO 2s on the wings, and 1 in the middle, which makes that, based on the perspective view, that Insta360 GO 1 makes this fuselage look like it is 13 feet long. So enjoy that perspective. I'm always bringing in new perspectives and views. But until next time, I am Dave. That's me, the sweaty guy. And that's the Consendo Evolution with 3 Insta360 GOs on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, please give it a thumbs up and a like. And until next time, we are out of here.